Hello guys, there are a bunch of countries, and I'm going to tell you them, all in alphabetical order, and their capitals and also their borders, starting off with Afghanistan. Okay, so Afghanistan borders India, Pakistan, Iran, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, China, and it has a capital named Kabul. Now for Albania. It has a capital named Tirana, I think. Oh yeah, it is. It borders Greece, North Macedonia, Kosovo, and Montenegro. Now there's Algeria. It has a capital named Algiers, as you can see on the top of Algeria. It borders Tunisia, Libya, Niger, Mali, Mauritania, and Morocco. There's also Andorra, which is right over here. It has a capital named Andorra de la Vera. Andorra la Vera. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. And by the way, it borders Spain and France. Weirdly. That means it's weird. Now for Angola. Its capital is Luanda. It borders Namibia, Botswana, Zambia, DRC, and Congo, Brazzaville. Okay, there's also Antigua and Barbuda, which is right over here. Wait, what? Where did it go? Just right over here. So, it has a capital named St. John's. Although it has a capital, it doesn't have any borders, which means it's all lonely. There's also Argentina, with the capital being Buenos Aires. It borders Uruguay, Paraguay, Brazil, Bolivia, and Chile. And there's also Armenia, which the capital is Yerevan. It borders Azerbaijan, Turkey, Iran, and Georgia. There is also Australia, which has a capital named Canberra, which is right over here in the Australian Capital Territory. But it doesn't have any borders, since it's just two islands. And there's also Austria, which capital is Vienna. It borders Slovenia, Hungary, Slovakia, Czechia, Germany, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, and Italy. Wait, did I already say Italy? I don't think so. Moving on. There's also Azerbaijan, which is seen over here. Its capital is called Baku. It borders Turkey, Iran, Armenia, Russia, and Georgia. Now for moving on to the letter B. Bahamas. The Bahamas has a capital named Nassau, but it doesn't have any borders, by the way. Alright, now moving on to something else. Bahrain. Bahrain is over here. Its capital is Manama. Its capital is Manama. But it doesn't have any borders because it's all just an island in the Persian Gulf. Now moving on to Bangladesh, which the capital is called Dhaka. It borders India and Myanmar, which is weird because it only borders two. There's also Barbados, which capital is Bridgetown. It doesn't have any borders since it's an island country. Now for Belarus, which is right over here. Minsk is its capital. borders Ukraine, Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, and Russia. Yeah, Russia. Alright, now for Belgium, which is right over here. The capital is Brussels. It borders France, Netherlands, Germany, and Luxembourg. Which is pretty cool and nice. So it's not lonely. Right. Now for Belize. The capital is Belmopan. It borders Mexico and Guatemala, which is actually awesome. Alright, now for Benin, which is right over here. Its capital is Porto Novo. It borders Burkina Faso, Niger, Nigeria, and Togo. Now for Bhutan, which is right over here. The capital is Thimphu. It borders India and China. Okay, now moving on to Bolivia, which is right over here. Its two capitals are La Paz and Sucre. It borders Argentina, Chile, Lima, Peru, Brazil, and Paraguay. Right. There will be another country next, and its name is Bosnia and Herzegovina. Its capital is Sarajevo. It borders Croatia, Montenegro, and Serbia. It's weird, because it only borders 3. But it's still good, because it's not lonely. Now for Botswana. The capital is Gaborone. It borders South Africa, Namibia, Angola, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. Reflex. I messed up. It borders Namibia, South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Zambia. There, that's better. That's way better. This weird border always gets me every time. Okay, now moving on to Brazil. It borders Uruguay, Argentina, Paraguay, Bolivia, Peru, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, and Guyana. Okay, now moving on to Brunei, which is right over here. The capital is Bandar City, Begawan. It only borders somehow it only borders Malaysia, which is sad because it's low. It only borders 1 person. But also, moving on. This is Bulgaria. The capital is Sofia. It borders Turkey, Greece, North Macedonia, Serbia, and Romania. Now for Burkina Faso, which is right over here. The capital is Ouagadougou. It borders Niger, Mali, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Togo, and Benin. Now moving on to the final one in the B category, Burundi. It borders Tanzania, Rwanda, and DRC. Now moving on to the C category. There's Cabo Verde. The capital is called Praia. It doesn't have any borders because it's just all 9 islands. No, 10 islands. No, 11 islands. Yeah. Now moving on to Cambodia. The capital is Phnom Penh. Phnom Penh. It borders Vietnam, Laos, and Thailand. Now moving on to Cameroon, which is right over here. It looks like a chicken with a huge phenomenon. The capital is Yaoundé. It borders Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, Congo, Brazzaville, Central African Republic, Chad, and Nigeria. Now moving on to Canada. Its capital is called Ottawa, which is right over here in Ontario. It only borders the USA, specifically the states. Alaska, Washington, Montana, Idaho, North Dakota, Minnesota, Michigan, New York, Vermont, Maine, and New Hampshire. Now moving on to the Central African Republic. The capital is Bangui. It borders DRC, Congo, Brazzaville, Cameroon, Chad, Sudan, and South Sudan. Alright, now moving on to Chad, which is right over here. Chad borders. The capital of Chad is N'Djamena. It borders Central African Republic, Cameroon, Nigeria, Niger, Libya, and Sudan. Now moving on to Chile. Chile borders Argentina, Bolivia, and Peru. Now moving on to China. It borders Russia, Mongolia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, India, Afghanistan, Tajikistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, Laos, Vietnam, and North Korea. Now moving on to Colombia. Its capital is Bogota. It borders Venezuela, Brazil, Peru, Ecuador, and Panama. Now for Comoros, which is right over here. The capital is Moroni. By the way, it doesn't border anything because it's just 3 islands. Now for Congo, Brazzaville. It borders Angola, DRC, Central African Republic, Cameroon, and Gabon. Now for DRC. That borders Angola, Congo, Brazzaville, Central African Republic, South Sudan, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, and Zambia. Sorry guys, I just had to spit out a hair. Now for Costa Rica. The capital is San Jose. Oh yeah, I forgot. The DRC's capital is Kinshasa. Now back to Costa Rica. It borders Nicaragua and Panama. Now for Cote d'Ivoire. The capital is Yamoussoukro. The borders Liberia, Guinea, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Ghana. Now for Croatia. It borders Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, Serbia, Slovenia, and Hungary. And by the way, its capital is Zagreb. Now for Cuba, which the capital is Havana. It doesn't have any borders because it's just an freaking island, which is sad. Now for Cyprus, which the capital is Nicosia. It's another island country because it doesn't border anything. Now for Czechia, its capital is Prague. It borders Austria, Germany, Poland, and Slovakia. Now moving on to letter D. There's Denmark, which capital is Copenhagen. It borders only Germany. Now for Djibouti. It borders Eritrea, Somalia, and Ethiopia. Now for Dominica. It doesn't border anything because it's an island. Now for Dominican Republic, which borders Haiti. And the capital is Santo Domingo. The capital of Dominica is Roseau. The capital of Djibouti is Djibouti City. I forgot about that. Now for letter E. There's East Timor, which capital is Dili. It borders Indonesia. Now for Ecuador. The capital is Quito. It borders Colombia and Peru. Now for Egypt. The capital is Cairo. It borders Sudan, Libya, and Israel. And also Palestine. Now for El Salvador, which capital is San Salvador, borders Guatemala and Honduras. Now for Equatorial Guinea, it borders Cameroon and Gabon, with the capital is Malabo. Now moving on to Eritrea, which the capital is Asmara. It borders Sudan, Ethiopia, and Djibouti. Now for Estonia, which is right over here. Its capital is Tallinn. It borders Russia and Latvia, which is kind of weird. Now for Eswatini, which the capital is Mbabane. Mbabane. It borders Mozambique and South Africa. Okay, now for the final one in the E category, Ethiopia. It borders Sudan, South Sudan, Kenya, Somalia, Eritrea, and Djibouti. Now moving on to F. This is Fiji, which is right over here. The capital is Suva, but it doesn't have any borders because it's just a bunch of islands. Which is sad, because a lot of them are islands. Now for Finland. Its capital is Helsinki. It borders Russia, Sweden, and Norway. Now for France. The capital is Paris. It borders Monaco, Italy, Switzerland, Luxembourg, Belgium, Germany, Andorra, and Spain. That's the final one. Now for the G category. This is Gabon, which capital is Libreville. It borders Equatorial Guinea, Cameroon, and Congo Brazzaville. Now for the Gambia. The capital is Banjul. It only borders Senegal, for what I know. Now for good old Georgia. Now for Georgia. The capital is Tbilisi. It borders Armenia, Turkey, Russia, and Azerbaijan. I already said Armenia, so shut up. Now for Germany. The capital is Berlin. It borders Poland, Denmark, Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, France, Switzerland, and Austria. Did I already say Czech Republic, Czechia? I think I already said Czechia. Alright, now moving on to Ghana. The capital is Accra. It borders Togo, Burkina Faso, and Cote d'Ivoire. Now moving on to something else. Greece. The capital is Athens. It borders Turkey, Albania, Kosovo. No. Borders Albania, North Macedonia, Bulgaria, and Turkey. Now moving on to Grenada. The capital is called St. George's. It doesn't border anything because it's all just an island. Now for Guatemala. The capital is Guatemala City. It borders Honduras, El Salvador, Belize, and Mexico. Now for Guinea. The capital is Conakry. It borders Sierra Leone, Liberia, Cote d'Ivoire, Mali, Guinea-Bissau, and Senegal. Now for Guinea-Bissau. The capital is Bissau. It borders Guinea and Senegal. Now for the final one of the G category, Guyana. The capital is Georgetown. It borders Suriname, Brazil, and Venezuela. Now for the H category, which contains Haiti, which the capital is Port-au-Prince, and Haiti, with the capital is Port-au-Prince, which borders Dominican Republic. Doesn't border that much because it's part of an island. Now for Honduras, with the capital is Tegucigalpa. Borders El Salvador, Guatemala, and Nicaragua. Now for Hungary. The capital is Budapest. It borders Slovenia, Slovakia, Austria, Ukraine, Romania, Croatia, and Serbia. Now moving on to the I category. There's Iceland, which the capital is Reykjavik. It's just an island, so it doesn't have any borders. Now for India. The capital is New Delhi. It borders Nepal, Pakistan, Afghanistan, China, Bhutan. Did I already say that? I bet not. Myanmar, and Bangladesh. Now for Indonesia. The borders Papua New Guinea, Malaysia, and Timor-Leste, or East Timor. Now for Iran. what a joke. The capital is Tehran. Oh yeah, the capital of Indonesia is Jakarta. Now back to Iran. It borders Iraq, Turkey, Azerbaijan, Armenia, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. Now for Iraq. The capital is Baghdad. It borders Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Syria, Turkey, and Iran. Now for Ireland. The capital is Dublin. It only borders the United Kingdom. Now for Israel. The capital is called Jerusalem, kind of like Palestine. But I'm not going to mention that yet. It borders Palestine, Jordan, Lebanon, and Egypt. Now for Italy. The capital is called Rome. It borders France, Switzerland, Austria, and Slovenia. Alright, now moving on to the J category. Jamaica is first, but it doesn't border anything because it's an island and its capital is Kingston. Now for Japan. The capital is Tokyo, but it doesn't border anything either because it's also an island country. Now for Jordan. The capital is called Amman. It borders Israel, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Syria, and Palestine. Now for the K category. There's Kazakhstan, which the capital is Astana. It borders Russia, China, Kyrgyzstan, and Uzbekistan. Yeah, and also Turkmenistan too. There's also Kenya, which the capital is called Nairobi. It borders Uganda, Tanzania, South Sudan, Ethiopia, and Somalia. Now for Kiribati or Kiribati. The capital is Tarawa. It doesn't border anything because it's just an island. Now for Korea, now for the northern part. Now for North Korea. The capital is Pyongyang. It borders China, Russia, and South Korea. Now for South Korea. The capital is Seoul. It borders only North Korea for some reason. Now for Kosovo. It borders. The capital is Pristina. Borders North Macedonia, Serbia, Albania, and Montenegro. Now for Kuwait. The capital is Kuwait City. It only borders Iraq and Saudi Arabia for all that. Now for Kyrgyzstan, which is right over here. The capital is Bishkek. It borders Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, China, and Kazakhstan. And that's all. Now for the L part of the category. There's Laos, which capital is Vientiane. It borders Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Myanmar, and China. Now for Latvia. The capital is Riga. It borders Russia, Lithuania, Belarus, and Estonia. Now for Lebanon, which is right over here. It borders The capital is Beirut. It borders Israel and Syria. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Just want to. Now for Lesotho. It borders. The capital is Maseru, and it's surrounded and bordered. It's surrounded by and borders South Africa. Now for Liberia. The capital is Monrovia. It borders Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Cote d'Ivoire. Now for Libya. The capital is Tripoli. It borders Tunisia, Algeria, Niger, Chad, Sudan, and Egypt. Now for Liechtenstein. The capital is Vaduz. It borders Austria and Switzerland. Now for Lithuania. It borders Russia, Poland, Belarus, and Latvia. Now for Luxembourg. Oh yeah, also Latvia's capital is Vilnius. Now back to Luxembourg. Luxembourg's capital is called Luxembourg City. It borders Belgium, France, and Germany. Now for the M category. There's a lot. Madagascar. The capital is Antananarivo. It doesn't border anything because it's an island. Now for Malawi. The capital is Lilongwe. It borders Mozambique, Zambia, and Tanzania. I'm going to make a part 2 of this since this video is getting pretty long. Good.